Welcome back to the finishing line. So I'm delighted to say that we're now going to be in conjunction with Betopin from here on out. So today I'm joined by Tom from Betopin, and we are going to go through our jump horses to follow for the season. So we're going to start off with our open hurdlers. So Tom, run us through your ones.
Hi, thanks Andrew. So it's tough enough to pick at this time of the year, but ones to follow. I mean, I think we're all focusing around Cheltenham already. And a horse that I like, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves, is Bouvardin. Yes. He's dual champion hurdle winner. He dug and dug and dug. He wasn't his best against Mellon last year, but he always seems to get the job done. Like, he's got a faultless record. He goes to the fighting fifth. He wins the Christmas hurdle. He goes down to he goes to the champion hurdle then, and he's got the job done. You can put lots of horses up against him, but it's hard to knock a horse who's been there and done the job.
I agree with you, and he's not appreciated for what he's done. He's not a sexy horse per se.
No, he's not. He does travel well, but he never does as much when he hits the front as you think he's going to do. And then he's trained by Nicky Henderson. You know, Nicky's great at just getting those top horses, training those top horses to come back every year, picking out his races. He'll have his program picked out again, and I think he'll just go there. I actually think, I mean, we're doing this with a bit of advantage. The fight fifth is on Saturday. Will he get beaten the fight fifth? Like, it's a cracking race. He's got a lot of competition.
It's a mini champion hurdle, more or less.
Like, there's three horses there. There's the Supreme Novice winner. There's Sam Crow, potentially the hype horse, who will get to him in a while. I think he needs further. And then there's Bouvardin. I mean, look, he could go and win, but if he went and won that, you'd really have to stand up and say what's going to beat him in the champion hurdle. You know.
True. And as well with his champion hurdle last year, are people underestimating Mellon as well? The way that the year before he was the next big thing for the Supreme, and Willie said he had a rush preparation for the Supreme, and did he come into himself, and is that better form than everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, to do what he did in the Supreme last year off the back of one run was obviously very good. He's obviously a top class horse. Does he just fail to get it done at grade 1 level maybe? I don't think Bouvardin was his best last year.
No, he didn't look.
He digs it out and he grinds it out, and I think
he travelled so well up jumping the lasts, and you think visually he was going to pull away further than he did from Mellon.
But if you look at how far he wins by, he never seems to go, and he'll never go and win by 10 lengths.
Yes, that's very true.
I just think he's underestimated, and I think he's the horse who's been there. Everything else in that champion hurdle market has it to prove. But he's been there, he's done it twice now, and I think if he gets back there in one piece, he'll take all the beating.
Agreed. So I'm going to throw a spanner in the works with the wonder mare that is Lorena. I think this horse has the potential. I might be crucified for saying this. Better than Annie Power.
Better than Annie Power. Annie Power won a champion hurdle, you know. She won a champion hurdle. She won a champion hurdle.
This one has champion hurdle road all over. You can put her anywhere in a race, any ground. She will travel, she'll jump. Yes, she might have beaten a bad bunch of novices last year, but I was only looking at it. She won the Mayor's Novice by 18 lengths on the bridle. I don't care who you're against. You're a proper horse if you can do that around Cheltenham in a grade 1. And you combine, she's only run 4 times. 2 novice hurdles and 2 grade 1s. And she's combined all of them together, she's won by 52.5 lengths.
True, she does. She's got the potential. I mean, I'm just looking at her mark there. She's got a mark of 152. Well, she's going to have to go and improve by a stone maybe to be a champion.
Yeah, her £7 allowance onto that, she's 159. Bouvardin is 169 as he stands now. He's not going to improve.
No, I think we have seen the level of Bouvardin. As I said, I don't think he was 100% last year, but we've seen his level. He's a champion hurdle winner. But Lorena, what would attract me to Lorena, as you say, I couldn't really knock her that much. She has got to go and improve it. But Willie is talking about. Willie turned around and said, "Yeah, it's my champion hurdle horse."
Yeah.
Considering he had Mellon, who was second in the champion hurdle last year, Lorena is his champion hurdle horse, according to him. It'll be interesting to see where she goes first.
She was meant to run last Saturday, but she was taken out at Ascot because of the ground.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting if he really tries to keep her and Mellon apart. Willie, I'd be worried if he ran her against Mare's first time. I'd say he'd be kind of going, let's go and let her prove another bit. But look, she's very impressive. She's
visually impressive. The thing that stood out to me, what her performance, it was the interview Paul Townend gave after she won the Grade 1 at Fairyhouse.
Yeah.
He more or less said this thing is a monster.
Yeah.
We don't know how good she could be.
I mean, imagine a champion hurdle winner that made its Irish debut in Tramore.
I know. I'm standing at the rails watching this thing go around. You never think she'd be fighting favouritism for.
That'd be a quiz question for a few years' time.
It would be. Where does she make her hurdle debut?
Yeah, Tramore. Not many would guess that.
So she's
your champion hurdle horse.
She's my banker from Tuesday.
Oh, that's a big shout.
I love her.
That's a big shout.
I just think she's a monster.
Yeah.
I think, especially getting allowance.
Her allowance is definitely going to help her. I mean, she's got a cracking chance. I'd like to go and see her do it. I wouldn't put it past her at all. I wouldn't put it past her going and winning a Grade 1 this season and then going off very close to favouritism for the champion hurdle. But she does still have to.
She has to improve at least a stone and a half. Yeah. But I think it's well within her.
Leading on to mares, we're on mares, my second horse, and I see she's on your list as well, Andrew, is Apple's Jade.
She's the toughest boots.
Yeah, she's a tank. I mean, she looked this season. She's come out and she's bolted up first time, and she just looked more physical. She looked like the Apple's Jade of the kind of start of last season.
She looks a different animal altogether. Yeah,
Gordon spoke last year that she was coming into season every time they ran her towards the back end. Look, you can forgive her if that's the case. You can forgive her for it. He said they've done an operation with her this year, so I don't know what that is. Whether they've tied her up or put a marble in her, but I mean that tends to work. So if that has worked, then she could be very hard to beat.
I think she's going to be. Again, I'm going to be bold. She's going to be impossible to beat in the Mares Hurdle.
She would be impossible to beat in the Mares Hurdle. I'd love to see her go for the World Hurdle. I think she stays. I think she's got all the class. She's going to get an allowance in the World Hurdle.
She would.
I mean,
she would dot up in the World Hurdle.
The World Hurdle. The Stayers. The Stayers Hurdle has gone back to now. But
Jigginstown don't like it. They don't like that race at all.
No, they don't. But they don't like the Champion Hurdle, and they're going for that with Sam Crow. So. At the minute they're going for that for Sam Crow, but I don't know. I just think that's a very, very weak market.
As she showed at Leopardstown last year when she beat Super Sunday.
Yeah,
she stays forever.
Yeah, she stays and she gallops. Now going back to Cheltenham, she does jump slightly right-handed.
She done that again
and
first time out.
Yeah, she can do that. She's definitely going to be better going right-handed. But I think she'd have a cracking chance in the world.
It's an extremely open race.
Very open race.
The favourite is not bomb-proof by any means. Faheen.
No, I mean he was well beaten there the last day. So
I think
that's a race there for the.
That's there for the take for her 100%. She's currently 3-1 now for the mares.
She's 3-1 for the mares. I mean, look, if you knew she was going to go there, you'd back her.
Get price now.
I mean, you'd imagine that
14 for the Stayers.
14's for the Stayers, and we're just looking there. Penhill tops the market, Faheen and Super Sunday. Apple's Jade is then on 14's. Leads me on to my other open horse to follow. I'm getting stuck into the Stayers Hurdle market this year. Penhill. I think the way Willie's going to train him. He said before last year that Tony Bloom wanted to run on the flat. We know Tony Bloom likes those staying handicaps. So if he could run him on the flat, he'd want to. Willie seems to have talked him out of that now. He's going to be trained with one race in mind.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's anyone who can get him there for one race in mind, it's going to be Willie. He goes very well fresh. We know that he was back to the boards last year.
Oh, he smashed
and he bolted up. And in a weak division where Faheen is your second favourite, who looks a shadow of his former self.
He's not the
Super Sunday doesn't get home.
No.
Sam Crow's not going to run the stairs hurdle.
Lamy Surge
is your big favourite. And then Call Me Lord, Cock and Ma, if the cap fits. I mean, that is a bad race.
It's an awful race. Probably the worst race of the festival.
That's why I think Applestrade, I mean, she would have a cracking chance. It would be between Applestrade and Penn Hill, and I would have them miles clear of the rest in the stairs hurdle.
It's true. Faheen, as you said, Faheen's shadow is for himself. They're talking about Super Sunday going champion hurdle route this year.
He just doesn't get home over 3 miles.
No.
So.
It's plain to see. He came there cruising 2 hours last year.
Yeah. And that was a slowly run race. And if he can't do it in a slowly run race like that, he's not going to do it in a normally run stayers hurdle. So I think he's going to struggle, to be honest.
I think so. I think you're right there. I think it's 10 hills to lose, and some race if Apple J's turns up in it.
It'd be a cracking race. I'd actually look forward to watching that. I'm just checking my facts here now before I say it. Could we be looking at another horse who made his hurdling debut for Willie Mullins around Tremor, running in the stayers hurdle and winning it for the second time?
Superstars around Tremor now.
He doesn't mind throwing them down there.
No.
He knows what suits the track. And it normally gives them an easy start, to be fair. So
ping around a few hurdles in Tremor, off you go.
They'd be my hurdlers to follow.
So I hope that was informative. Come March, we'll hope we're not, me looking like a fool. So next we go on to our novices. So the novices are hard to pick this year because majority of them haven't run yet because of the ground.
Yeah, we've been slow to get them out this year. We're not going to know much until they start running against each other. We've got the Bar 1 racing day at Fairy House this weekend. That's going to be informative if they turn up.
Yeah.
I'll just throw mine out there. Commander Fleet, I love him. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Love the way he won his bumpers. He looked a proper tool. If he takes the hurdling, which I think he should, Jigginstown horse. Again, I think more of a stayer now than a
he looks
2 miler.
He looks a grinder out and out.
Yeah. So I'd say the Ballymore. I think he's favourite for the Ballymore at the minute. I think they'll stay away from the Albert Bartlett just because I don't think they'll want to run him over that trip. It can ruin horses now and again.
Horses.
Yeah, I think they'll stay away from that. But if we look down, he's clear favourite for the Ballymore.
14s.
He's got to go out and show he can do it. But I think on his bumper form, he's got a real touch.
He looks the part.
Yeah.
He looks the real deal. He looks a chaser, as most Jigginstown horses.
He does. Yeah, he definitely does. But I think he would have a cracking chance in a bunch that something's got to come out and show that they're standout. There's nothing really standout. There's no Sam Crow that you're saying, he's won 3 bumpers and he's going to come out and do this and whatnot. But
they're all a bunch of that look like we could beat each other the whole time.
Yeah,
it could be like a juvenile hurdlers all over again, like last year.
Yeah, just come out and beat each other once every.
There's no even vibes coming out of any yards that.
No.
All you ever
hear the only vibe horse is my other horse, and it is entered this weekend. I think. Let's have a look. Is Animix. It was favourite for the Supreme Novices last year.
And she's favourite again.
And it's favourite again. I mean, that says all you need to know about the novice hurdlers this year. Animix is favourite. It's had 1 start, second in France for Gio Macaire. It hasn't run in Ireland. It's been off it didn't run last year. It was out for the season. It's been off nearly 2 years. It's been off since September 2016. It's been off for 2 years. And it's favourite. Hasn't won a race. It's only had 1 start in its life. It's clear favourite for the Supreme Novices. That says all you need to know. But at the same time, the vibes last year were fantastic about this horse. Rich Ritchie came out and said he was the pick of their novices. And to say that after he's only had one run in his life, he must have been doing something very special at home. He's entered this weekend in the Royal Bond. So Willie pitches him straight into a Grade 1 on his first start when he could go and win a maiden hurdle.
That's bold.
Like if we look at Mellon, he won a maiden hurdle first time. You know, he didn't even go to a Grade 1 to start off.
And the thing with Willie Mullins, he's never shied away saying this horse was, he thought it was a lot of this horse.
Yeah, like he loves this horse, and I think with what could potentially be an average bunch, he could come out and be
the superstar.
Be the top of the yeah. What about you, Andrew? You got some
So
novice hurdles?
First, I've gone with Tornado Fly. So he was third. Oh, no, how many stats here now? This is why I write down things. So he's third in the champion bumper last year. He got a cheeky lead at the start, and he looked like hitting the hill. He was going to hold it the whole way, but he was collared in the end. But then he went on to Punchestown, and he won it, doing the same thing again. But he didn't. He seemed to settle more, and he beat my other horse, which we'll talk about in a minute, is Blackbow. I think he just looks like this front runner that has. He looks like a stayer, but with speed. And I think if you throw a hurdle in front of him, he's going to respect it, and he might settle a bit more. And I think he has the class. He looks a classy horse.
Yeah, he's looked good from the day he won at Fairy House. He was obviously pretty fancy because Paul Townend rode him in the champion bumper.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, he won well at Punchestown then in the Grade 1.
Like
he could be anything. He could be anything. He could be up to challenging the rest of them.
To me, he didn't look like a bumper horse. Do you know these big burly gallopers that are just set out for champion or champion bumpers? He looked raw. He looked a shell of a horse, and apparently he's had to grow into himself, and he's been schooling really well. And I think he's 25 now for the Supreme.
That's a fair price. If Animix is 9-1, you couldn't back Animix at 9-1.
No,
you've never seen him. You're just going on reputation. But Tornado Fire, if you knew he was going to go for the Supreme,
25 is a
25.
It's a nice price as of now, since he hasn't seen a hurdle yet.
Yeah.
There's something about him. There's something the way I look at him when he races. I think he could be useless, but I think he has the potential to be a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he definitely does.
There's not much on him besides his bumper form.
No, his bumper
form is rock solid.
Yeah, you can't knock his bumper.
He's been beaten by Relegate, who was had to come out and get beat in our maiden hurdle. AC Milan, who was behind him again, is after getting beat. Corrivi ran the same day at Punchestown that he won the champion bumper, and he won that by a good few lengths. He was heavily back that day. I remember him opening up about 5-2. He went off 7-4.
Yeah, and
he won by 5.5 lengths easily.
Yeah.
So the form is stacking up in a way, but it has to be really tested yet.
Yeah, the form is there. We'll see how he does jump in a hurdle now.
Exactly. So your second one.
We've gone.
Oh, you got yours. So my second
one.
Yeah. My second one is another bumper horse that ran the champion bumper, and that's Blackbow. But at the other end of trips, I think this is a 3-mile horse out and out.
Yeah, he's a star, definitely.
The way he won at Leopardstown, the Grade 1 bumper. Is it a Grade 1?
Yeah. No, it was a Christmas bumper.
Yeah. He beat JP Rhinestone. He hit the front, and he just went the same pace the whole way.
Yeah.
It was like his top speed the whole way around, but no one could get to him.
Yeah, that was the Dublin Racing Fest last year. I was up there that day, and I think I was on Rhinestone, and Rhinestone looked like he was going to go past him for every money. And Blackbow just ground it out. He looks a proper.
He's a stamp of a
he
three
could
mile
be.
chaser.
He could be a Gold Cup horse. You know.
He looks. He's big.
He's a big chaser. Yeah.
He's a big forward and a big behind on him. I think they probably look after him the way you said. They probably stay away from the Alba Barters. He probably is Ballymore all over him. But I think if not for this year, he could be a chase that he could be seeing running the Gold Cup in a few years, as you said.
Yeah. I mean, he's all to do to get there, but that's the type of horse he looks like. He looks a big stain chaser.
Yeah, he just looks the caliper out and out. He doesn't look like he has that much speed. So I say the slower the ground, the better for him if he's going. I highly doubt he'll start over 2 miles.
Yeah, you could see. I'd say whatever he starts off, he'll go further anyway.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not a 2 miler. So it's not much.
We've got the chasers.
The chasers next. So open chasers, go for it.
Open chasers, right? I'll start with one, and I have to admit I wouldn't have picked him before a couple of weeks ago. But St. Calvados. He looked like he had the better of Footpad when Footpad came down.
Yeah, I agree.
He's looked a pretty decent horse since he came over. He's trained by a very, very good trainer, Harry Whittington.
He's done nothing wrong since he came over.
No, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. If we remember back to the Arca last year, him and Petit Mouchard just completely took each other on. As soon as they did that, it was over for both of them. It set it up for Footpad. Footpad came through absolutely swinging because the race was set up for him. You can't take St. Calvados on that form. I think he's much better taken on the form of a couple of weeks ago, and he definitely looked like he had the better of him. I think it was a bold move by Harry Whittington to bring him over. I think it's something that more English trainers should do. There's some very good prizes over here, sometimes contested by smaller fields, and they should definitely come over and try it out and test the water.
He was impressive. There's no other way to say it. He was really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he bolted up in every race until the festival, at which you can just put a line through that.
The race was over 2 fences out.
Yeah, he got a race supposed rating of 164 for that race at Naas, and you know he's probably got to go and improve another couple of pounds. But as long as nothing takes him on, because he does look like he needs to lead.
Yeah.
He'd have a cracking chance in the Arkle, I think. So he'd be my first chaser.
He'd go champion.
Champion chase, yes. What did I say? Arkle. No, Arkle was last year. He definitely won't run in the Arkle.
He won't win it.
No. I mean, yeah, he's got to take on Altior in the Arkle, in the champion chase even. But
that's a fair price.
16s for the champion chase. Wow, I didn't know that.
That is a Footpad is 5.
Yeah,
that's
like, look, you've got to be a forgiving judge to say, right, let's just put a line through the Arkle completely. But if he's 16s and Footpad is 5s, there's only one guy I want my money on, and that's definitely St. Calvados.
By miles, the better value there.
Yeah,
I won't touch Footpad now. I don't think he's 2 miles.
He was top class last year. He was unbelievable. But again, I think they were already talking about further with him.
There was talk about him going King George.
Yeah, I think the King George will suit him. A flat track around Kempton. See, the problem with the King George is now everyone says, you know, you don't need to stay that well to get the King George. But the problem is they start racing from miles out now. So I think you do need to stay to win a King George, but it'd be a lot easier. I don't think he's a Gold Cup horse, but Altior then at the head of the market is the one to beat. But we'll get onto him in the anti-post betting.
Yeah, so that's a fine pick for 16s.
16s,
and he's more or less guaranteed to go there.
He's not going to go anywhere else.
No.
I would imagine. No.
Right, so my next one would be Album Photo. The horse that Paul Townend decided to take out the cross country course to Punchestown. I think this horse has Gold Cup wrote all over him. he, beside the fact that he fell in the JLT, well, not JLT, RSA, 2 out when come to challenge. I was last. I think he would have went close. He was just staying on and staying on. He would have won a punches down, without a shadow of a doubt. He fell at, was it Cork?
No, he hasn't run there this season. He fell at Cheltenham. He fell at Limerick. That's where he fell. Yeah.
And he had that race sewn up.
Yeah, he had that race definitely sewn up.
He seems to have a few niggly jumping problems because he's not fallen twice, so you can't say he's a perfect jumper.
Yeah.
But he's entered for Saturday for the Ladbroke, formerly known as the Hennessy. And Willie Mullins seems to always put his very good horses into this. The only thing that would worry me about him running Saturday would be he's going there without a run.
He is. I would be massively interested in this horse for a big race. If he went and won the Ladbroke or the Hennessy off a mark, he's on 159.
Oh, I think he's.
If he could do that, he's banging the Gold Cup betting. I'm not saying he could, but
I think he's well.
He would be bang there.
As you see again with the market for the Gold Cup, it's an open Gold Cup as you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
It is visually he looks beautiful. He looks like a proper chaser. If they sorted out his niggly jumping problems, he has the potential to be a Gold Cup horse. The whole talk about him is this year Gold Cup is the race he's going to go for, and he's 33-1 shot for the Gold Cup right now.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, he's got his jumping problems. I'd worry about them. I would worry about him in a big handicap like the Hennessy, but
he races kind of off the pace.
If he got it together, then he'd have a solid chance. But I'd worry slightly about those jumping problems.
Even the race that he should have won a Punchestown, that was a decent field he was going to beat.
Yeah.
You have Monolly second in the RSA. You had a Storyteller who won the handicap at Cheltenham.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have Fox Norton who was starting to come into himself. It was a decent race that he was going to win.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt.
So it's 33-1. I wouldn't put anyone off before he runs on Saturday. Because is it Jockey book himself for Saturday?
No, I don't think they're off.
I presume Paul will ride him because he's always rode him.
Yeah, you'd imagine.
Bar Cheltenham.
Yeah.
He seems to get on well with him. Bar pulling him outside.
That leads me on to my Gold Cup fancy, which is Presenting Percy. I think he's an absolute smashing horse. His record at Cheltenham is absolutely fantastic. He's gone there. He won last year. He absolutely bolted up. He beat a very good horse in Monolly, who we know stays very well. He's got a rating of 165.
Does he?
165. Like, he does not have to go and improve much on official ratings to be banged there in a Gold Cup.
I didn't know he's rated that high.
He's had, I'm just checking now, he's had 2 runs at Cheltenham in his life at the festival. He's won both times. He won the Pertemps. Again, he bolted up at the Pertemps, won by over 3 lengths. He bolted up the last day in the RSA. He beat a decent field there. He beat Black Horton out of sight. He beat Monolly. He beat Elegant Escape, who's well fancied from Ladbroke on Saturday. I love his attitude. He just seems to go around with his ears pricked everywhere. I think he's got a proper chance of winning the Gold Cup for a small yard as well. And Patrick Kelly, it'd be fantastic to see him get there.
He's known for targeting Cheltenham.
Yeah, he does very well with a small bunch of horses. But if he could get in there in one piece, I think he'd have a smashing chance.
He's rightly favoured, in my view. He should be favoured, which he is.
He's to go and prove it in open company. But I don't know, Mike Bites. You never want to see a horse finish a race like he did on Saturday.
It's a typical Scorpion though.
He is a typical Scorpion, as in they've loads of ability, but they are quirky.
They're little.
But he finished very tired. He
didn't
finish out his race at all. Native River had a hard race. You know he's going to stay. He could put it up to him. I think you could run Native River in the Gold Cup for the next 3 years and he'd be placed every time.
Yeah, I think last year was his year though.
Yeah, they took each other on last year, but I think he was a good comeback run by him. And as I say, I think he'll be placed in the next few Gold Cups as long as he stays right. But Presenting Percy just could be the up and coming superstar that
he's a novice that everyone's talking about. That even people are talking about he's the horse they all have to beat.
Yeah,
he's a perfect record around Cheltenham. He's visually in the RSA. He came there swinging on a bridle coming down the hill, and he was not stopping hitting that line.
No, the fact that he's run twice at Cheltenham and won twice at Cheltenham and at the festival. I mean, festival form. They say you can't beat it. You can't really.
No.
It's such a different atmosphere. It's a different course to anywhere else. That if they can go there and run well, and if he's gone there and won twice, I mean, I'm looking at his Racing Post rating for last year in the RSA was 170. So
that's massive.
I mean, that is a huge Racing Post rating. I'm just going to check what Native Rivers was for winning the Gold Cup, because it definitely cannot be far higher than that. 173. So
through £3. That's
they're
very doable.
They're very similarly matched on official ratings. Native River's £11 above him. That's a lofty rating. When Native River won the Gold Cup, he was rated 166.
It's doable. It's very doable for him.
So they're very similar. They have similar profiles, and
he has a style.
As Native River had a similar profile when he was a novice, I think they'll go. I think it'll be the two of them fighting it out, and I really like Presenting Percy. I think he's loads of ability.
He does. He travels. He jumps so well.
Yeah.
He has everything to be a Gold Cup winner.
Yeah, I think he definitely could be. And you've got a Gold Cup horse there as well.
I love this fella. I have a soft spot for this fella ever since he was following around Douvan's arse over 2 miles. About 2 years ago I put up this horse these 3 miles. Okay. And he finally got 2.5.
Yeah.
Going around Clonmel, and he won. And then he went on to win the.
He won at Leopardstown.
He won at Leopardstown. Then he went on to win at Cheltenham. Then he went on to win at Punchestown. Size and John. He is by far forgotten about.
He is.
He to me he has the best form. As of now, he's beaten Native River in a Gold Cup. He has everything to beat everything else in it. He has a speed. He has stamp. He's not the mould. He has the mould of Quarter Star. He has the speed and he has a stamp. I'm not saying he's Quarter Star, but he has everything of the mould of him.
He does, as in he could get it done over 2 miles to an extent behind Douvan, who was an absolute superstar at the time. Yeah, I mean he's got it to prove coming back from injury. You can put a line for his last run.
His last run, he was a sick horse.
He was a sick horse. He beat Jack Adam in the John Durkin very well before that. He's won a Gold Cup. That's the main thing. I mean, we can talk about how much of a good Gold Cup it was behind, sadly, Manila Rocco, but he beat Native River that day. Jack Adam and Safid. Look, he's won a Gold Cup, and it's hard to knock him, isn't it?
And the fact that I put him up is as again, he's the forgotten horse. Everyone forgets he's been there. He's done it. Why can't he do it again? There's nothing saying he can't. It's just the injury or even sickness, whatever it was up with him.
He's not entered, which is a bit of a worry. Like the John Durkin entries are out. He's not entered for the John Durkin, so you'd presume he's got to come back at Christmas.
I presume they're going to go. I doubt they're going to go throw him straight in against the big boys first.
Yeah,
it'd be foolish.
They're going to struggle to find somewhere that'll suit him that he hasn't going to take on top class.
I'd say he could even start over 2.5.
Could do, yeah. yeah.
When's
I'd say
John
they're
Durkin?
back. John Durkin is on the 9th of December, I think, Saturday week.
Entries are not out for that, are they?
I think they are. Yeah, Presenting Percy is entered, which.
Well, as saying, like, the form is there. The form stacks up. He was even at Punchdown. He wasn't. After winning the Gold Cup, he wasn't himself, and he still managed to pull out the fire when he looked like he was going to get beat by Jack Adam.
He's a lovely horse. Sunday the 9th is the John Durkin. That's a cracking field. Another horse in there, Annabelle Fly, Balco de Flo, Bells Hill, Black Hercules off 689 days. He'd be interesting coming back. Don Poley.
Oh, Don Slowly.
Don Slowly. He's a lovely horse though.
Yeah, he's a Grand National horse.
That's a cracking field. Interesting. Footpad is entered there over 2.5. Raf Vinden, Snow Falcon, The Storyteller, Total Recall, Undersow, Benny Desir, Shattered Love. That is an absolutely cracking race. And let's hope half of those turn up, and that'll be very informative. Interesting though that Size and John isn't entered.
Yeah, if I was looking at Kate Harrington's Instagram the other day.
Were you?
And she was. I was looking at the horse's top, and she was actually out doing a piece of work with him, and she had the phone on when he was hat cantering, and she just turned around, a big smile on her face. He's back, and turned it off.
Okay. Oh, that is interesting then.
So if he's showing the same signs at home, that convinces me alone that it could be me. I just have a big soft spot for this fella.
Oh, he's definitely got ability. He's been there and done it. I love that.
As you
Jessie's
said,
a fantastic trainer.
Oh, she's so underrated.
She'll leave no stone unturned in getting him back.
Yeah. And the horses are always overpriced.
He will be, yeah. He will always be overpriced. Yeah, I agree.
So that's me finished ranting about Size and John.
On to the novice chasers.
Go for it.
First one again. Now this is a horse I love, and I think he is underrated. Is Cracking Smart. I was at Nace the last day he ran against Next Destination over 2 mile 4. He got outpaced and he ran on, which is exactly what he did at Navan the time before that as well.
I remember that.
I was dying for this horse to run in the 3 miler.
He got pulled out, didn't he, just before?
He got injured, unfortunately, but it was only a minor setback, I think. He is just a stayer. He could maybe be one for the 4 miler.
Think so?
I think he could be. He's definitely a 3 miler. He could be a 4. He could be one for the 4 miler now.
I think they've one set out for the 4 miler. Blow by blow.
Blow by blow.
He's the slowest tar.
He is. Yeah. He could be one for.
I think he's too classy to go for a 4 miler.
Do you? I think it's turned into such a classier race. I mean, if we look at Native River won it. Minetta Rocco. It's turned into a proper race. Yeah. This horse is a lovely horse. He looks like a chaser. He's built like a chaser. He got to 150 over hurdles. Guarantee you he's better over fences.
He looks like he's going to be better.
You know?
And they're not wasting time when I'm staying over hurdles.
No, they're going straight chasing. And he's almost a dark horse because, you know, he's kind of under the radar.
No one really talks about him.
No, he's not one because he got beaten a couple of times by Next Destination last year. He's not really one that's out there, but
and that's good form.
He's there you go. I say no one talks about him, and you've just mentioned it as well. He is joint favourite for the 4 miler at 20 to 1 with Blow by Blow.
Surely take the chance at 20s, wouldn't you?
Take a chance at 20s. Look, anti-post betting, you've got to guarantee that they're going to get there. He's 20s as well for the RSA. Yeah, I mean, where is he? Is he in the JLT? No. He's 20s again for the JLT.
They're not taking any chances.
No, they're not, but I really think this is a top class horse.
You nearly had me convincing them. Good job. Well done. Right, so my Run open. What? Oh, novices. This horse, ever since he got beat by Santini at Cheltenham in January, was it? I've really liked him. Black Up. I think this horse is an absolute monster of a chaser in the making. He had zero respect for hurdles. He kicks him out of the ground as I'd say, what the hell are you doing in front of me? And he still manages to win, to run top races. He gets 2 3/4 length of Samcro, where Black Op looked beat, like he wasn't going to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Over jumped the second last, and he just stayed on. He went on to Aintree then, and he beat Lost in Translation in a Grade 1 by half a length. Tom George has been raving about his schooling.
Yeah, he's always looked like a chaser. He didn't really have any respect for his hurdles.
No, he didn't.
He is, again, he's rated 152 over hurdles, and you'd think he's definitely going to improve for fences as well. So he hasn't got that far to go.
No,
to be one of the top chasers anyway.
He's a stamp of a stayer. Even when he hit the hill at Cheltenham, you could see he was just staying on. He looked half furlong out, like he had a chance of catching Samcro. And if you think getting Samcro,
second, yeah.
If you take in consideration that everyone thinks Samcro is the next coming, if you get that close to Samcro, when you don't look like you're going to be placed, you're not half bad yourself.
Yeah, no, I think he was definitely the best of the rest of them. He got close to Samcro. Jack Kennedy gave Samcro a safety first ride that day. Yeah. They'd had a bad first day. Applestrade getting beaten, and I think that was the one. You could tell by Gordon's body language and the interviews he was giving, the pressure was definitely on. Jack went wide. He knew he was on the best horse in the race. To be able to go wide around Cheltenham and ride a horse with that much confidence just shows, exactly how far better he was there for finance.
Even as the form of Santini in my view should have won the Albert Barla. He was given a horrible ride. He was put way too far, and they gave Kilbrick and Storn way too much rope. And if you take that, he was 3/4 lengths off him, and there was 29 lengths back to the third. I know it was a bog that day. 2 of them are going to be up there with the best novices this season, I think. But for me, Black Op has the potential to be the next novice superstar, whatever, 2.5, 3 miles, whatever he goes.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a chaser.
That's me finished ranting about him.
Okay, so my other one is Klashnikov. I really like this horse. He ran very well in the Supreme. He's, again, we picked out horses here that have always looked like chasers. He's got the build of a chaser.
Oh, he's huge.
To go and win that Betfair hurdle for mark of 141, bottomless ground.
It was impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Never been out the first 2. He's only been beaten by Somerville Boy, which went on to win the Supreme again, and that's the only horse who's beaten him.
Every time I watch that, it still boggles me how he won it.
Yeah, he made a good racing debut at Warwick. He just picked on one down the back, but I think he'll come on from that and learn from that. He looked pretty safe, and then stood off and was kicked into them by Jack Quinlan when he needed to. Amy Murphy's made a great start to her training career, and I think this horse is obviously her flag bearer. But he could take her a very long way back towards Cheltenham. Especially, does he need soft ground? He probably does, to be seen at his very best.
Yeah.
And if it came up soft at Cheltenham in March, he'd have a cracking chance in whatever he went for.
He looks like a soft ground horse, but she's always said he's better on better ground, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, look,
she
obviously thinks that, but
she nearly took him out the Betfair
for the Betfair hurdle. Yeah, I mean, look, he's won twice on good to soft. Probably doesn't need heavy ground, but I think to be seen at his best, I think he needs it to really show his true colours. You know,
he's potentially very class. As you said, he made a good chasing debut, as you'd expected from a lot. They just popped him around.
Satisfactory chasing debut around Warwick. Talking going to Plumpton next for a 60 grand bonus. If you win a race at Plumpton and you win at the festival, you get a 60 grand bonus. There's talk of that. It's one of those. It's fine. Get it done. Get it out of the way with, and let's move on from Plumpton. You know. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes over better class opposition. Your next one would have been one of my picks, but I saw you had him down, so I said I'd just follow you in on it.
So my one is Layla. I've never seen a horse jump and travel around Cheltenham since Altior like that.
Yeah.
He was tanking around, pricking his ears, loving life, and he hit that hill and he was like, right lads, I'm off, see you later. He was visually impressive. And Rachel Woolacott said, Rachel Blackmore. Katie Woolacott said before the race, whatever he does today, he's going to improve a lot for it. And if he improves a lot from that, he has a serious chance of winning an Arkle.
Yeah, he does.
They didn't waste time with him over hurdles. He won his grade 1 at Aintree last year, and after that they said chasing is the name of the game next year.
Yeah.
He beat Vision to Flow in his grade 1, who's not a mug by any means, with Bedrock in back and third, and we all know what Bedrock's gone on to do this season.
Yeah, it looks very good form. I'm glad he went and did it at Cheltenham. I mean, I know he was second there last season, but he won the Aintree bumper, and then he's gone on and won a grade 1 at Aintree then last season.
You can take like the flat track thing away now since he's
since he's gone and done that now around Cheltenham. Dickie gave him a smashing ride, a racing post rating of 160. I mean, that really puts him up there. I was fortunate enough to meet Richard Woolacott a few times, and he loved this horse. Katie will tell you, he said from the start that this was the best horse he'll ever have, and he's really gone on to prove how right he was about him. It'd be very poignant now if he went on and won the Arkle, and he's got a cracking chance to.
Serious,
I know we all say it, but he has always looked like a chaser. He's the size and scope, and he just needs to be chasing. He's plenty of speed. He showed that to win the bumper at Aintree. And he's by a sire called It's Gino, a German sire who not many people would have heard for. Stands for $2.5 grand in France. I don't recognise any of his other. They're his flat runners. We'll just check his jumpers. Let's see. Derbyn, Gary Moore's horse. Yeah, who's a fine horse, but Lawler is by far and away his best.
Oh, by miles. And I was only interested now. I was looking at the betting since the second he won it. He went into 8-1 second favourite behind Kalashnikov, and since then to now he's gone into 4-1 favourite. There's been Paddy Power came out yesterday on their website blog saying the sustained amount of money for Layla has been ridiculous, and they keep having to. They won't be surprised if they have to hit 7-2 to 3-1 by next week. Yeah,
he just looks the type. I'm just looking at him now as well. I mean, his sire is obviously not that flashy, but he's a gorgeous stamp of a horse, and he was well sourced by Tom Malone for 16 grand back at Tattersall's. So yeah, it's an exciting season for the novices.
There's a
good few novice chasers that could go and make their mark and been good over hurdles. I think we're on to the dark horses now.
That we are.
Andrew.
Me. Right. Willoughby Court. I backed him this time last year to win the JLT. I love him ever since he beat Neon Wolf. And Harry Price, before Neon Wolf passed away, said it's the best horse he's ever had. He made his chase debut around, what was it, Plumpton or? He beat Alan King horse. 2 seconds.
We'll have a look at my favourite piece of Willoughby Court's racing career so far has got to be Ben Paulin's celebration when he won at Cheltenham.
Oh, he won.
The punch in the air and standing there was fantastic. He's looked a proper horse. Again,
Right, so anyway, he was
a Yanmouth, that's the horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's been off for a while, but
he had a stone bruise about 3 weeks before he was meant to run the JLT, and he wasn't ready. He would have. He said he could have ran him, but he was only 80% fit. So they put the lid on last season and started fresh this season. He has to go left-handed. He cannot go right-handed.
Yeah.
He went right-handed once and nearly ended up in the forest. He kept jumping out to his left the whole time, and it was.
Your computer's gone now, but
it's not cooperating.
He's got to step up now.
He's entered
outside a novice company, but
he's entered on Friday in a handicap at Newbury.
Is he? That's interesting.
And Nico de Vineville is booked on him already.
Okay.
So it looks like he's going to run.
It'd be very interesting to see how he gets on there off a mark of 151.
He needs to improve a good bit to be challenged for the championship races. But I say he could be tailor-made for Ryanair this year and maybe look at the Gold Cup the year after.
Yeah, wouldn't knock it.
So he's currently at the moment for the. What can I do? He's 14s for the Ryanair and he's 33s for the Gold Cup. What do you think Ryanair is realistic?
Yeah.
Coming out from not running, having 3 runs over fences.
Yeah, 3 runs over fences.
You can't really throw him into, unless he comes out on Friday and absolutely annihilates the field.
He's got to improve to be a Gold Cup horse, but like he could, you wouldn't know. I don't think he has middle distance would be maybe his trick.
2-4.
So, I think Ryanair would be a good shout.
Yeah, so that's Willoughby Court.
My first dark horse is a horse who every day since he won his point to point I've been in love with, as you say. Malone Road. He has bolted up in a couple of bumpers.
A machine.
He was impressive at Down Royal, and then the last day against a horse Patrick Mullins said about Mount Leinster, who Malone Road beat in his bumper last day, that Mount Leinster, anyone's familiar with Carlo geography, Mount Leinster is the mountain that overlooks Willie Mullins' yard. Jackie Mullins, Willie's wife, owns this horse, and they've been looking for a name to save the name Mount Leinster for a good one. They saved it for this lad. He duly came out and dotted up at a bumper. I heard an interview with Danny Mullins actually, and he said the horse was in the summer, and he was talking to Patrick and said to him, this isn't a normal summer bumper horse, and Patrick said no, he's alright, that lad. They really like him. They punted him last day, even against Malone Road, who had a massive reputation. He was sold for 325,000 after he won his point to point.
Wow.
And they punted Mount Leinster, and without being harsh to Mount Leinster, Malone Road made him look ordinary.
He did. He made him look like
they turned in at Punchestown. Jamie Codd got down, gave him a squeeze, and his turn of foot.
He took off.
Foot is savage. Like, there's a few people even talking about could they turn around a few years and run in, like, could he have been a horse for like Royal Ascot? He just looks a proper type. Gordon's turned around and said he's going to put him away now, already for Cheltenham, for the Cheltenham bumper. We know he'll probably go there. Jigginstown don't like it, but this guy is owned by Cheveley Park. They'll have no problem with running him in the champion bumper. I was actually looking at it then. I've heard a few people saying, it took me a bit by surprise, that he was going through, he was putting him away. Felix Deschi, who ran last year, ran very well in the champion bumper, was just too free, He actually ran in Down Royal, and he put him away then and didn't run him until Cheltenham. I'm just gonna get rid of this off of our camera now. He just looks an absolute weapon of a thing. Gordon, as I said, put Felix Destier away. I know he hasn't run well this season, but he ran very, very well in the Champion Bumper. It's obviously a plan he had before Punchestown, because he came out straight away and said, no, this is what we're doing. This horse could be anything, it could be absolutely anything. It's going to take a special one to get him beat.
He looks unbeatable already.
Yeah.
As you said, they were Willie Mullins was holding on to name Mount Leicester for a really, really good one.
Yeah.
And if that's the really, really good one, and Malone Road has done that to him.
Yeah.
What is he, 92?
Yeah, he's 9-2 for the Champion Bumper
already.
which is crazy. Which is a crazy price for Champion Bumper. However, I don't know, what price would you get about him on the day if he turned up? Would you get some?
He'd be the Irish.
He would be the
banker.
Irish banker. If he turns up, there will be so much talk about this lad on the Cheltenham preview circuit that he will be the absolute banker on the Wednesday for the Irish.
100%.
It's hard. You couldn't tip him now. You couldn't back him now.
But you can.
You're taking a chance. But if he turned up,
he's going to run there. You're hoping
if he
gets there in one piece.
If he gets there in one piece.
If he gets there in one piece, you're talking half the price.
Oh, at least, yeah. I think, I don't know, be foolish now, but if he was 2-1 on the day, depending on what runs against him, what happens between now and then, it's going to be hard to get that performance against Mount Leinster out of your head. I'd back him 2-1.
I'd back him now. I'm greedy. I want him now. As you said, he does look the real deal.
Yeah. And what are your... So you've got a couple of interesting ones down there.
I have. My laptop's at the packing in on me, so I won't put my phone.
Okay.
My second one. This horse, ever since I've seen him run, has reminded me of Undersow, the way he runs. And it's another William Mullins trained, great field.
Yeah.
He's an out and out 2 mile chaser. He's had his problems as most top 2 mile chasers have. They always get injured for some reason or another. I was up at Punchestown the day he won the Punchestown Arkle.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen a horse ping around Punchestown like him in my life. He's so low and economical over his fences. He's fast. Jody McGarty, it's his horse to ride. Even Barry Gershon and Mark Walsh don't get letting near this horse.
No, it suits him.
He's, I think, 20-1 for a champion chase.
He's got to go and show he can do it against that type of opposition, but
I think he can lead in a merry dance around.
He has looked a nice horse. They've kind of minded him a little bit as in opposition, but it's going to be interesting to see him step out of that novice kind of company now and see where he goes.
Even his first time out last year, he beat a Gordon Elliott horse called Dr. Phoenix.
Yeah,
and he improved no end since switched to him. He looked like he had the race. He wasn't handy enough. He was his first run out. He was big as a bull. You could see it.
Yeah.
And he still ended up winning. He got another niggle after that, so he's put away for the season again. I really think he could make up for lost time this season. I think he's entered in Tingle Creek. I don't know if he's going to run in it though. But I'd love to see him go around them railway fences. Down the back of Sandown. Yeah,
it'll take a good one to go with him, and if anything tries to take him on, I mean, we were looking at there, St. Calvados. Imagine St. Calvados in great field in a Tingle Creek.
Who can go faster?
Who could go faster? Yeah, that'd be.
That'll put their jump.
That'll be interesting to watch now. My second dark horse to follow is a horse you might not have heard of. Is a horse called DBC, trained by Tim Vaughan in Wales. He's had his couple of niggly injuries. He went chasing there at the start of this season, made his chasing debut around Chepstow, behind a very good mare of Colin Tizard's called Drinks Interval. He got a bit outpaced that day on good ground over 2 miles 7. He won every bit of 3 mile on soft ground because Andrew, guess who his half brother is? Don Poli.
Oh, that's lovely.
He's a half brother to Don Poli. He wants every bit of 3 mile on soft ground. 4 miler at Cheltenham, I'm told, is his aim. If you can get there and it turns up soft,
oh, he'd have a serious chance.
He's a lovely horse, and he's a lot like Don Poli. He just bowls along. He actually looks a bit like him as well. He goes one pace and he bowls along, and he just keeps in that gear all the way. And I could see him on soft ground at Cheltenham, just grinding it out. He was third in the Grade 1 at Aintree, behind the World's End in 2017 in the novice hurdle. Again, he's always looked a chaser. He was then off for a year, and he was 4 for 20 in a Grade 3 at Aintree. He just got a bit tired that day. It was his first run for a long time. But if they can keep him right this season, I think he'll have a smashing chance over fences and soft ground. Wherever he goes, he's one to keep an eye on.
4 mile. Is he priced up for the 4 mile?
He is. He's 50 to 1 with Bet365.
Jeez.
So you don't have to risk many pennies there to get a nice reward.
That's a decent shout.
Yeah.
So my last dark horse is Le Bagua. I've really liked her for a number of reasons. She's tough. Okay, that's packed in. She's tough. She's won 11 of her 15 starts.
Right.
She ran in the Mayor's Novice last year. Not that Mayor, the actual Mayor, the Mayor's Hurdle, the first day at Cheltenham. And she came there at the last looking like she was going to put it up to him. Made an absolute hash at the last. Jumped the sideways, landed on her back end, never got back into it. She made her chase debut around Newbury a few weeks ago. And my God, she looked like a chaser. She set the pace, didn't miss a beat. She beat a horse called Lost in Translation, who was second to Black Up in the Grade 1 hurdle at Aintree the season before. And behind her, them again was Thomas Campbell, who only yesterday went out and franked the form by winning his novice chase. She's trained by Warren Greatrix. Always, and this is a horse that's always ridden by Richard Johnson. And it's a Richard Johnson horse. Absolutely throw me at a fence and I will jump for you.
Yeah.
She's entered in, oh there he goes back. She won 11 of her 16 races. I'm not far off. So she's currently 20s for the JLT, and I think that's tailor made for her.
Yeah.
Come the day or come a few weeks before it, I won't put anyone off backing her. She's a top class mare in my view. She's beat the likes of Gerard's Girl over hurdles around Kempton one day. Like, her form stacks up.
Yeah.
And then if she's going to improve over fences, she's only going to be better.
Yeah, she's a big mare in that one. She could definitely go on to do a bit over fences, I imagine. She's a good pick.
She's entered.
Good dark horse. She's entered this weekend, is she? Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how she gets on. My last dark horse now is a very much dark horse. Horse called Looks Out Like Brian. I picking him. I have a small bit of a connection to him. I bought his half brother, who was unfortunately nothing like.
Damn it, wrong brother.
Nothing like Brian. But a friend of mine bought this horse as a store, and again he went to Tim Vaughan. He was liked, so his half brother was bought. He's been one that's taken a while to get to where he is now, but his form of his seasonal debut at Carlisle, he beat a horse called Sky Pirate. Sky Pirate ran at Cheltenham last week on the Friday in the first race in the amateur race. Unfortunately got bought down. Patrick Mullins just bought him out to challenge at the second last. You may tell by me I had backed
small bit,
small few couldn't have, but Patrick Mullins bought him out to challenge. He looked like he was going to win. I won't lie, he looked like he was going to win. That would have really franked the form. That was off 125. He then went out and bolted up by 10 lengths off 129 over 3 mile 2. He wants every bit of a trip. He goes on soft ground. He's now up to 138. There's one target and one target only for this lad, trained by Tim Vaughan, the Welsh national.
Yeah, his favourite.
Well, he's short in the market for it. I would imagine he needs his jumping can be a bit pottery at times. If he gets it together, he's an improving 7-year-old. You know he's going to be aiming for the race now. He's going to have a smashing chance, and he's a horse who people might not have heard of, but he could go a long way.
I seen his last race where he was it 12 lengths or something he won by.
Yeah, 10 lengths he won by up at Carl.
And my God, he done it in half speed.
Yeah,
He got shaken up. The second he got shaken up, he was just round the outside. You see it, lads.
Yeah, he ran to a Racing Post rating that day of 147. Off a mark of 129, so that takes a good bit of doing.
Yeah.
Up to 138, he'll definitely get into the Welsh national off that.
And
I'm looking forward to. He could be one of my Christmas horses already. I'm really looking forward to him.
It's going to be up soft.
Soft around Chepstow. You're going to have to stay in his name of the game for this lad.
And he'll be out of trouble.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Hopefully, be interesting. I'm just looking. Richard Johnson's riding on most of the starts. Be a massive tip in itself if Philip Hobbs didn't have anything in it. If Dickie was to get on him for the Welsh national. If not, Alan Johns would ride him, I presume, who would know him very well from home.
Yeah.
No problem with that. But it'd be very interesting if Dickie tried to get the ride on him.
It'd be a tip in itself, as you said.
It'd be a massive tip in itself.
Yeah, so that's all of them, is it?
That's all the horses to follow.
That's all the horses to follow.
It's only just over an hour.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We just said we'd fly through the Jumps Trainers Championship and the Jockeys Championship quickly.
And then a few anti-posts for the main race of Cheltenham and the Grand National. So, UK Championship trainers. Say that again. Trainers Championship in the UK. Nicky Henderson sewn up.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. He does. Nobody has the ammunition. Colin Tizard has a great team, but doesn't have enough horses.
Nichols
Paul
doesn't have.
Nichols, the press the guy gets. I know he's been champion trainer so many times. He's a fantastic trainer, but the press political got,
he's not a superstar.
You could say he's a grade 1 horse, but that's the best he's got.
And he's not spectacular by any means.
No, he's going to struggle again for a couple of years. I know from what I've heard, Tom Malone has bought him some nice horses, and he thinks he's got a nice young team, but they're going to take a little while to come through. But the future's bright for him, I think, again, but it's going to take another couple of seasons that we really see him kick on to challenge for a training.
As you say, he's a young team, but he's been saying that for the last 2-3 years.
He has, but these horses need to develop.
Well, he's thinking he's getting. He gets horses to a certain stage, like say a grade 2 or grade 3. For instance, Dallas.
Yeah.
He was hyping him up, and then he just disappointed upon disappointment. And what was the other? Same colours. Oh, starts with a C. It's gone out of my head.
Not Danny Kerbin anyway.
No.
I think he's the same colours as Nollis, but with Nichols, it makes you look back and really appreciate what he had. When he had Denman, Corto Star, Neptune, Collonge, all in the Gold Cups, big books at the same time.
No one will ever have
masterminded, it was some team all at the same time. But I think he'll get back there, but it'll take him another couple of seasons. But yeah, anyway, it's Nicky Henderson. And it's Dickies. Dickies for the Jockeys Championship in the UK where we're on that. Harry Skelton made a fantastic start. Dan's flying. Dan's another one for the Trainers Championship. It's not going to happen just yet.
Oh, he's going to win it soon enough.
God, is he a champion trainer in the making? He has got such a great team. To go out and start, I know he's had loads of money put in behind him. I know he's had loads of owners back him. But you still have to go and get it done. There's loads of people who've had really good opportunities and they just, for whatever reason, haven't been able to make the most of it. Dan Skelton definitely has champion training.
And he just broke Martin Pipe's season record.
When you're breaking Martin Pipe's records,
you're doing something right.
Yeah. So he'll get there, but not quite just yet. Harry made a fantastic start at Jump Jockeys title. Dickie's really kicked into gear. What's helped Dickie ties into our next piece, which is the Irish Trainers title. Gordon had a slow enough start. A few horses weren't quite right over the summer, and Willie, in comparison, had a really good start. So what we saw was Gordon put a few horses back to where he really began to make a name for himself. Was back over to the UK,
over the port,
and Dickie got on all of them.
It was,
and that's really what kicked it off and turned it around for him. And I mean, you're not going to turn Dickie down if you can get him. So it's really helped his chance, and I think he's really in the driving seat now. Philip Hobbs, Dickie won it last year, and Philip Hobbs had an awful season because of a virus in the yard. Hobbs' horses, no surprise, have looked really well handicapped this year, and he's in much better form as we'd expect.
Very well.
So I think it's Dickie's. It's over really.
It's over already.
Harry Skelton's done well. Aidan Coleman's doing well for himself. He's teamed up with Emma Lavelle this season, who's kind of fought back. Gets a good few rides off John Joe. Aidan's probably one I'd put up to be maybe JP's next retained rider.
Barry's kind of getting phased out now.
Barry's getting phased out a little bit. Mark Walsh is riding out the skin, to be fair to him. A jockey a few years ago I would not have put up to be anywhere near a JP job, but he's riding out the skin. He's improved no end. I think the job is probably his, whether they divide it up and have Mark in Ireland, and then I don't know, Barry's riding a few, but he's just even gone very quiet. We haven't really heard from him recently. But Aidan's a lad that I think JP likes a lot. He puts some good few horses.
Even he gave that Paisley Park some
Paisley Park. Absolutely smashing ride. For a horse, I saw his interview afterwards, and he said like he travels behind the bridle a bit, and they quickened and got away from him. But to get him up and go and to get a hold of his head and really kick on, he gave it a smashing ride.
I flew at the last half furlong.
So Irish Trainers Championship. Willie's done. There's one interesting market here out of these four, and that's the Irish Jockey Championship.
That is up for it. There's 30 winners between the 7th and Paul Town.
Is there really? Wow. I mean, it's fantastic. Rachel Blackmore.
Oh, she got there.
You have to start on Rachel Blackmore for this. For a jockey that turned professional. And I won't lie, even I was like, what is she doing? She couldn't barely get a ride as an amateur. She turned professional then, and I said, okay, this will last for a season or a summer, and she'll go back amateur then.
She's so good.
She has turned herself inside out, and she's almost like she's Henry's go-to rider.
Oh, she's Henry's more or less stable jockey.
Yeah, she's Henry's go-to rider. How it's settled itself out with Jigginstown is they're happy to use the stable jockeys of No Mead, they're happy to use Sean Flanagan, and they're happy to use Jack Kennedy or Davy Russell with Gordon, and then Henry is definitely favouring Rachel Blackmore at the minute. She's ridden, I saw the stat the other day, I'm going to excuse the noise of the paper, but this was a great stat. In the last, I think it's the last 5 years, or since she turned professional, she's ridden for 132 different trainers. 132 different
Is there that many trainers?
Is there that many trainers in Ireland, is what you'd ask yourself. You talk to the other jockeys and they tell you, like, you'll turn up anywhere, any school in races, anything, Rachel's there. Like, she graphs and she graphs and she graphs. So it should be no surprise just really that she's done this well. But on the back of the two female jockeys who are outstanding of their generation, that really put female jockeys on the map, that they could compete with the boys in Nina Carberry and Katie Walsh. On the back of them retiring, for Rachel to come out and do this year, what she's done is fantastic.
You can nearly say she's going to surpass the two of them.
Yeah, there's not many sports where females compete on the same terms as males and can compete with them, and that's why, like in France, they get their £4 allowance. Or 4kg allowance, whatever it was. I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. If you're good enough, you're good enough. And Rachel's proven she's good enough.
She doesn't look out of place whatsoever.
No, you wouldn't be able to pick her out and say anything about her.
She's as strong, if not stronger than most of them.
Yeah, she's done fantastically well, and onwards and upwards for her. I don't know if she'll win the jockey title, but
she's not far off.
There's other people got the ammunition, but if Henry backs her and she gets a good support from Jigginstown and another 130 other trainers, then she might have a chance.
If she's in with a shout come March, April, the state trainers could be.
It'd be interesting. We're just trying to get the market up here now.
I think she's 9-2.
I want the Irish ones, guys. Oh, Paddy Power as well. Bear with us now because we'll click that.
Paddy's. Yeah,
Paddy Power. Right, let's have a look at what price she is, because this is a market that's interesting, I think, because
it's wide open.
I'd love to see who is ahead of it. Right, here we go. So Paul Townend's even money. Davy Russell is 11-8. Rachel Blackmore 11-2. Mark Walsh 12-1. Ruby Walsh 16-1 to win a jump jockey's title in Ireland. Do you ever think you'd see the day?
Last 10 years, you'd be trying to immense the institution.
Yeah. I think it's probably Paul's. He's got a backing of Willie.
Yeah.
As we've seen, he's riding a lot of Willies. Davy Russell, obviously a very good chance, but he's not going to ride all of Jigginstown's. He can only ride at a certain weight, so that rules him out of some races. And if we get down to where there's a few in it, and Paul goes gung ho for it, or Rachel goes gung ho for it, or Mark goes gung ho for it, Davy's going to struggle because he can't ride in every race.
And he's after Brian Cooper's after picking up his job on.
Very interesting, that wasn't it? Brian Cooper's picked up the Chris Jones rides. It's interesting. Davy and Chris Jones have had a long-standing association.
He was his go-to guy for years.
Really was his go-to guy. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe he can't get him every time he wants him because he's riding a lot for Jigginstown. But Brian's definitely got that job in the bag. And Brian's actually fitted in, I don't know if anyone at home has noticed it now, but he's really fitted in around the Wexford area. Sean Flanagan would have ridden a lot down there. But when he got the job with Mead, he's had to give up commitments down there, and Brian's down there a lot right now for Paul Nolan.
He's down in Henry's a lot,
and he can get down to Henry's from there, and a lot of small trainers in Wexford are using him as well. He's around there a lot. He's picked up all of Sean Flanagan's rides really around there, which is great from which hopefully kickstart his career again a bit. He's still a very young guy.
He's picking up a nice few rides as well. They're decent horses.
Yeah. One of the most fascinating interviews I've seen in a long time was Willie Mullins the other day when, I can't remember the horse, Ruby went off 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he turned around and he said, they've obviously just gone way too fast in front, and we're lucky that we have someone like Paul Townend who sat and waited, and he said he knew he was going to win miles out. He heaped praise on Paul Townend and almost criticised Ruby publicly. Never thought I'd see that day.
I was shocked to hear that. That was the Faheen ride.
That was Faheen ride. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I only saw the interview afterwards on a separate clip, but it's Ruby can't go on forever. I mean, he's a fantastic rider, but
I think he's a year too much in now.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hate to see him carry on and go out at a stage where I'm not Willie's number one and I can't get the top rides. I mean, AP went out at the top. You'd almost, I wouldn't be too surprised if Ruby turned around at the end of the season and said, that's me done. He's nothing to prove. No. Absolutely fantastic rider. One of the most natural riders. Like, he was more natural than AP.
He was gifted. He probably still is gifted,
but he still is. But he's getting that bit older. He's had so many injuries that you can't keep coming back from every injury the same. It's going to take its toll on you, which is a shame. I wouldn't say anything like he's lost his bottle. I don't buy into this. He decks them at the final fence.
That is the biggest.
I just think he's on that many horses that if you look at a horse out the back, if you're at the back of a race and you're coming into the final fence and you have no chance, you're just going and let him pop it. Yeah. Ruby comes down on that many more horses because they have a chance. He's racing down to the final fence, and when they're racing down to the final fence, one little mistake, you've got to kick him into it, and one little mistake and that's it, you're down. So that's why he comes down on more horses at the final fence. He does, undoubtedly, the stats are there, he does come down on more of them, but that's why. Like, if you're out the back, if you're third or fourth even, you're beat, you let him go in, pop it, fine.
Like, if he's going down to the last and you have it and you're on him saying, would you rather him throw the horse at the fence or just leave him pop and lose the race?
Oh yeah, throw it.
It's rather throw it.
You look at AP and you look at Dickey. I mean, I've been connected to a few horses Dickey's ridden before, and you're looking at them going down to the last few, and you're almost putting your hands across your eyes.
Pop it.
Because you know he's going to throw the thing at it because he wants to win. But like that's the reason Ruby does that. He's a fantastic jockey. I would just hate to. It hasn't happened yet. He's still going to get the pick of the Mullins right, but I would hate to see it get to a stage where he says he's like Willie comes out and says, "Yeah, Paul's my number one," or it's even just very clear, like a bit with the Barry Geraghty situation, that he's not number one anymore.
You'll suddenly see Paul Townend coming out and riding under so, and Ruby's on. Say something like bloody Santini or something.
I don't even think it'll get to that stage. I think he will go before it gets to that stage. But I saw a funny tweet from David Casey the other day, and there was a video of Willie Mullins' yard in Close Sutton and Ruby Walsh and Paul Townend sweeping, and he said there must be some good rides up for grabs this weekend. So it'd be funny if there was competition, but I think Ruby is very much in charge in that situation, and Paul knows that.
Oh yeah, he's waiting. He's hanging around for the day that Ruby hangs up his boots.
Yeah,
he's just going to slot straight in.
Should we might run through the anti-post betting very quickly? I think we've covered most of these. If we just go and have a look at what prices some horses are for Cheltenham. We're just going to go through the main four races, and we got the Grand National in. That'll be brief. We've no idea what goes for that. Well, I don't anyway.
Start with the Champion Hurdle. So currently it's Bouverdaire 2-1, Samco 4s, Lorena 6s, Mellon 8, 12 Summerhill Boy, 16 Super Sunday, and 25-1 Bar. So we touched on this already. So we
mentioned these already. I mean, we'll talk about more of the odds now at this stage. Bouverdaire 5-2. That's fair, I think. Sam Crow has a little bit to prove now. I honestly think this horse needs further. I was there the day he won his point to point, and I know a couple of lads who work in Bowes, and he won, and we were kind of like, okay. A couple of lads had said, watch the 4-year-old in the first, and I was walking in just as they were going off, and I think he was 2-5. Like he couldn't get a penny on him. The word was definitely out, but he bolted in, and then another couple of lads came over to me and said, "Did you see the 4-year-old? Did you see the 4-year-old? Like he is an aeroplane." If you watch that day, he almost gets outpaced. He makes a mistake down the back at Monk's Grange, and even in a point-to-point, he makes a mistake. He gets a bit outpaced, and he has to get pushed around the bend. And then when he comes down the straight, he comes back on it. Then I really think he needs further.
I think they're wasting their time over hurdles.
Yeah, I'd go jumping, but I definitely think he needs further. He's not a
2-miler. He is no doubt in my mind. He is not a 2-miler.
But if we look at the market there, I mean, Mellon 10-1. Can't see him reversing the form of Bouverdaire. Lorena 7-1. Yeah, she's the one for me that if she could go and prove herself, she has to do it, but she could be the one. Super Sunday, yeah, okay, he's just not got the class for it. Min's going to stay chasing. Draconian maybe, there's a long way to step up. Then we're getting into likes of Stormy Island, Cock and Mines, If the Cap Fits, Mick Jazz, Somerville Boy is in there, yeah. He's the one again at 14s.
He's running the Fighting Fifth on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean the Fighting Fifth is a cracking race on Saturday.
We'll find out soon enough.
We'll find out a lot more if all of these. I mean, you're looking at Bouverdaire, Sam Crow, and Somerville Boy all take themselves on Saturday.
Come 5 o'clock Saturday evening.
Here's a shout, right? I'm just clicking on it now to see what price he is.
I'm looking forward to this.
Bedrock.
I like it.
They set it up from the last day, right?
Yeah.
They completely set it up from Sharjah, and Sam Crow took each other on, and I think it's just because Sam Crow stays a bit better than Sharjah does. Rachel gave it a fantastic ride.
Oh, Peach.
Sat off him. And they were on about him going to America. I think the latest I heard was the plan was they're going to see how he gets on. They're going to give him a run in the Fighting Fifth. If he went and won the Fighting Fifth, I think they're going to leave him here.
Yeah.
Because he's sold to America as far as I know, but he was meant to go after the last day.
Was he?
But they changed their mind and said, look, we'll run him again and see. So I think it's one of those, if you went and bombed out in the fighting fifth, I think he'd go off to America straight away. But if he went and ran well and could compete, sure, who doesn't want to go to Cheltenham? So 40-1, wild price.
And if you go back far enough in his form, he was second to Bova there, the entry.
Yeah. Wild price, just put one out there. But 5-2 Bova there is a fair shout, I think.
It's a great shout. 50's over there. Take it quick.
No. Where are we next?
Champion Chase.
Alright, so we've got Altior 11-8, Footpad 5-1, So Royal 14s, Min 16s, St. Carlos 16s, Greatfield 20s, Undersow 20s, Ballyasheen 33s, Fox Norton 33s. Well, how's that betting on? What stands out there to you?
I can't see Altior being beat.
Really?
That's my.
Yeah, he's a fantastic horse.
If I was the owner of Altior right now, I'd be thinking, why not go Gold Cup? You're after winning the Arca, you're after winning the Champion Chase, you look like you'll stay.
That's there for the taking, though, isn't it? Champion Chase.
I know, but
Footpad looked a superstar last year. Has got a little bit to prove after last day. He got an overreach
of the third.
So yeah, so you can maybe forget about it, but I don't know. I'd want to see him go do it now again.
Yeah.
Silver Royal looks good. Min
no,
had his chance. I love Min. I really do. I backed him to win the Supreme Novices. Wild prices. But he's just not as good as Altior. St. Cavalos, he's my pick. 16s. I'll take that any day. And then you've got Undersow and Greatfield. Undersow came up heavy.
Oh, he'd have a right chance.
You know, I think we saw last year. I don't know. He's another one of these. If he bombed out this year, I mean, he'll go for, is it the hilly way down in Cork? I think. Yeah, he'll go for that. He'd win that. But if he bombed out a couple of times, I think retirement could be on the cards. You know.
I think so.
He looked last year like he was past his best.
But
I'd love to see him back over 2 miles on heavy ground.
He won the Champion Chase at Punchestown.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. He's just been around for so long and messing around with the trip and.
2 miles, I think, as you said, on soft to heavy ground, take a hell of a horse to beat him.
Yeah. It would. I just think he's going to struggle against Altior. And realistically, when we get to the championship races, it's probably going to be better ground. But we'll see. St. Cavados would be my pick 16s. I think.
Mine's not fancy. I think Altior is an absolute machine. Yeah. I think he's the best horse in training.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock him, but 11 days.
I know, 11 days now.
We'll see.
Come the day when he dots around in the Tingle Creek, they'll slash him to even money.
Yeah. I'm just going to give a shout out to one there as we've just scrolled past the race, the cross country. Everyone's favourite race at Cheltenham.
I love it.
Tiger Old backed him last year, travelled like a dream, then went on only a couple of weeks later to win a Grand National. He ain't going to win a Grand National again.
Oh, I slated him last year before a Grand National.
Why?
Did you? Oh, I slated him.
I love the horse. He's going to have too much weight this year for the Grand National. The lads know that. I mean, I can't. Was it Rule the World that won the National for David Mullins? And they retired him. They said, he's not going to win another one. What's the point? I think they'll probably run him in it. He's not going to win it. And I think the lads know that.
And he's small
going to have one target all year. That's going to be the cross country. Now look, he's 7-2. I know he got beat the other day, but he obviously wasn't ready, and he had to give a lot of weight to the rest. And Josie's orders was weighted to beat him. I think off levels, 7-2 was not really much for price, but he'll take a world of beat and come back.
Josie's order was getting over stone off him.
She got a lot of weight. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, she got a lot of weight off him.
He done the same last year in the same race. He bombed out in the cross country.
Yeah, they gave him a little pop around last year, and I think this year he just wasn't fit enough.
Keith Donoghue looked after him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, definitely. The Stayers Herder. We got Penhill 7-1, Faheen 12s, Super Sunday 12s, Apples Jade 14s, Sampro 14s, Lame Serge 16s, Comey Lord 20s, Cock and Man 20s, if the cap fits 20s.
Penhill if Apples Jade doesn't turn up.
I mean, Apples Jade's one of those you don't know where she's going to turn up. 14s. I'd love some money on her at 14s to win a Stayers Hurdle. I tell you,
If she ran it, that
she
should be
would have
favourite.
a smashing chance.
You'd be looking at 5-2.
Yeah, I do like Penn Hill. I think
He is.
he's
That
going to
race
turn
mind.
up once. He's going to turn up there, fresh
Yeah.
horse. They're not going to change it. Mullins did the same with Corvega. The likes of Corvega
Yeah.
just turned up, bang, bang, bang. Penn Hill is a hard horse to train by all accounts. But I think he'll turn up there, and
He's the horse to beat.
he's the horse to beat on it last year.
Defending champion, loved Cheltenham, 2 from 2 at Cheltenham.
Yeah,
Not
he's
much
a good
more to say
chance.
about him.
Yeah, but Apple's Jade at 14s from a betting point of view is a wild horse. If you knew she was going to turn up there,
Even
she'd
if
be-
you put a tenner on it.
yeah, exactly. Right, Gold Cup, Andrew. Do you want to give them a shout?
So we have Percent and Percy 5s, Native River 7s, Might Bite 9s, Road to Respect 16s, Bristol the Might 20s, Duvan 20s, Sight and John 20s, and 25-1 bigger.
Present Mercy is my pick. 5-1 is short. Native River is a decent price at 7-1. He'd be bang there.
Yeah.
Very worried about Might Bite after the
Aye.
weekend.
Button back with my mother's money.
Road to Respect. I think Sean thinks he's improved a lot after last year, and he wouldn't have to improve too much.
He won the JM1
Yeah, he
by miles.
bolted up in the JN1.
And his jumping wasn't even that spectacular. He clouted 1 or 2 on the
If you
first
go
circuit.
down, if you go down through this race, I mean, you've got Presented Percy, yeah, he'll be targeted there. Native River Might Bite and Road to Respect. Bristol the Mai, fantastic around Haydock.
Cat everywhere else.
Yeah. Duvan
Won't run.
is out
He's
for the season. So, Size and John, your fancy.
Soft
That's a
spot.
big price, 20-1. Bells Hill, he's going to have to do another bit to come
Yeah.
into it, right? Here is a horse that ran a blinder on Saturday.
He ran some race.
If you look, Thistle Crack we're on about, guys. If you look at the way he ran, Tom Scoo's hanging a bit, turning in. He got well at pace, came back into it, hung a bit. Tom Scoo getting one crack, and he went forward. And it looked like he was going to tire then. He's changed his hand, given him one little crack, and he ran on. He finished right up behind Native River.
That was a
He ran, in my mind, he ran a better race than Native River there. He's a forgotten horse.
that was him nearly back to his best.
Yeah, I really think I think he's going to be forgotten about. Look, I think they'll probably stay chasing. He's another one. If he went back to the Stayers Hurdle, he'd be
He's
so he got
surely
some
huge
chance in
price
that.
now, is he?
We'll have a look what price he is for that. But 25s for the Gold Cup.
It was
Yeah.
it was a very taken performance. It was one of them eye catchers that you can't get out of your head.
Yeah, no, and he wouldn't have been a favourite of mine.
No, either
before the
me.
race.
I never really took to him even over hurdles.
Thistle Crack, as short as 10s, 25s with Paddy Power and Betfair for the World Hurdle or the Stayers Hurdle. So he's 25s for both of them. Came back to his best. He'd run placed, wouldn't he? At least.
Oh, easily.
So he could be a.
It was when he jumped. It was when he
spot.
jumped the last and his head went down. The second his head came back up, he was galloping to that
Yeah,
line. He
yeah.
wasn't stopping.
No, he was right up behind them. So
And
we'll see.
as you said, he was hanging and jumping. He missed out a few of the jumps.
Yeah, he got
If he-
outpaced a bit and then ran on. He wouldn't have been 100% fit. But
No, not by any means.
I think he had a good chance now. I think the Tizzard's been very happy with him, and he's kind of gone under the radar again. So
Because they're going to be talking about Native River.
Everyone's on the
Yeah.
Native River, like so.
You could easily see him popping away behind, hitting the hill and just
Yeah. I know. I like him now. I like him a lot.
to
I
the
think
end.
that's us, is it, Andrew?
Grand National.
The Grand National. Let's have a look. What odds we have for
Eeny,
the Grand
meeny.
National? It's just so hard at this time.
I'll
of
say
year.
one horse,
Go on.
Don Slowly, also known as Don Poley.
Soft ground. You would have a good chance. Good ground.
He is as
Mind you, we forget that he won over 2 mile 5
he won Martin Pipe.
the Martin Pipe at Cheltenham, so he has a bit of speed. Wild prices. Bells Hill 25-1, Tiger Roll 25s, One for Off for 28s, Vintage Cows 28s, Ballyoptic 33s, Coney Gree 33s, Definitely Red 33s, General Principle, Pleasant Company, and a whole host of others, including Presenting Percy on 33s. Rock the Casbah 33s.
Do you like him?
Stick him out there. He gallops, he stays. Dicky gets on well with him. He jumps well.
He's a proper galloper.
He'd have a chance. Bell's Hill is another one would have a chance. It's wild. Isn't
Annabelle
it?
Fly
Annabelle Fly
didn't seem to get home last year.
Didn't seem to get home. Yeah, I mean, the two I wouldn't be. Well, yeah, there's one I wouldn't be backing there. There's Tiger Roll.
Or one for Art or one.
One for off has got to come back this year now from injury, but
One there now that interests me, Ballyoptic. He's kind of an in and out.
yeah, Nigel's horse. Yeah. I mean,
He wins his fair share of races, but if he was to come there primed, I think he'd have a right show because he's not that badly handicapped.
no.
He's not going to have high rating because he's not beaten that much.
I think this is a race we'll come back to near the time and go through it in detail. But I mean, it is a lottery. There's no way you can have a bet on it at the minute.
It's what, 6 months, 5-6 months away.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
They all have to get there first. The weights aren't even out yet.
Yeah, exactly. A lot would depend on the weights, I think, and we'll come back to that then.
Yeah.
I think that's us.
That's us.
Out of the hour and 35 minutes, not long. Hope you
That was an
enjoyed listening.
absolute pleasure. So we're going to do this every week. We're going to go through weekend racing news, stats, everything. So we hope you can join us again, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.